it is time to talk about racist trousers. I can't believe I just said that. But of course, who better to get on to discuss this extremely serious issue than social commentator Calvin Robinson. Good evening, Calvin.
Good evening, Kevin. I mean, why wouldn't trousers be racist? Everything else is these days.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, why not? You're right. When it was suggested to me that we did this story, I just said, "What racist trousers?" But they
Yeah.
are indeed apparently racist. And what we're talking about is the high-end fashion label Balenciaga, who actually were also responsible for covering up Uh, Kim Kardashian's face in that strange outfit she wore to the Met Gala ball in New York. But they've got this pair of trousers, they're sweatpants. They're on screen if you want to.
Look at that mess.
Aren't
What
they amazing? They
upside
well,
down.
Calvin, yours for just £860. Anyway,
That's the
should we
first
just
crime,
call
isn't it?
this conversation off? No, basically, they're called Trump Loyal pants. They've got a built-in pair of boxer shorts peeking out from the waistband. This mimics apparently the style popularized by hip hop musicians and is therefore an egregious example of cultural appropriation. I mean, can you sum up how mad this is? They're all over. They're all over TikTok saying this feels very racist. They have woven the boxers inside the trousers. There are organisations condemning these dreadful racist garments. I mean, what's going on, Calvin?
Uh, the idea that, first of all, appropriating someone's culture is racist is a nonsense because it's cultural appreciation, not cultural appropriation. If you're taking something that's from someone else's culture and taking it on board in your own culture, that's, imitation is the finest form of flattery. You're saying, I like that thing, I want a part of that. That's what you're saying. You're not, racism is discrimination or prejudice. It's saying, I don't like that thing, keep that away from me, which is actually how I feel about these trousers. I think they're disgusting. I think they're degenerate. The idea that, when you see people walking down the street with their trousers around their backside and you can see their boxer shorts, you just want to pull them up,
It
don't
was
you, and
it
give them
was
a slap.
it was always a fashion that bemused me. I think it still goes
Yeah.
on. Look,
Fashion is a strong word, Kevin.
it's the my trousers are almost falling down look.
Yeah.
Now. I mean,
Well,
I suppose most. I don't know. I can't quite recall, but I remember seeing as well as a lot of black guys sporting that fashion. I saw a lot of young white guys doing it too. Anyway, so is it on a point of order actually a black fashion?
I don't know what black fashion is because I don't understand that black people can have their own separate fashion,
Yeah,
especially in the West.
exactly.
If you're black and in Britain, you're British. If you're black in America, you're African American or just American. Like the idea that there are certain types of fashion that only certain people of different skin color can wear is a nonsense. But it is hip hop culture, and anyone can appreciate hip hop. Anyone, there are plenty of white hip hop artists as well as black and Caribbean and Chinese, and it doesn't matter. But the people who are suggesting that this is purely black culture and only black people can wear their trousers like this, they are the racists, and they don't see that. But I think, when I was younger, my father always told me, don't wear your trousers like those kids who have it halfway down their backside, because you know where that comes from, Calvin? That comes from the prison yards, and people just want easy access. I'm like, okay, okay. I did not know that, Dad.
Listen, here's the associate professor of Africana Studies at California State University. Marquita Gammage is her name. She says she says this is a clear case of exploitation, black culture with the hopes of securing major profits. That it's exploiting black culture with the hopes of securing major profits. Well, looking at that item of clothing, I'm not sure there will be major profits in line. But I mean, these are academics fueling this nonsensical argument. I mean, what we're really talking about here to try and somehow sort of glean some seriousness from the situation, and there is something serious, is this just feeds into the madness of this increasing obsession the whole world is getting with racism.
Yes, it is the obsession. And you're right that it's the academics. They are the problem. And I don't know if they realize that yet because they have all these theories that come from critical theory, and that's evolved into critical race theory, this idea of looking at power dynamics and trying to solve racial inequalities through academic theory. It does not work in the real world. It might make good lessons, it might make good debates. But when you start to suggest that there are only certain elements of society that are privileged to certain fashion senses, then anyone else that copies them is exploiting or appropriating that culture. That is segregation. That's ghettoization. That's saying that only that community over there can get on with that stuff. We have to do our own stuff, separate stuff. Do they not see the error of their ways? Surely we want social cohesion where everyone can get on, everyone can wear what they like, talk how they like, study what they like, and that is how you get equality.
Yes, the aforementioned professor of Africana Studies at California State University, Marquita Gammage, goes on to say,
What?
she goes on to say, Balenciaga men's Trump loyal sweatpants in red triggers immediate concern, given the grotesque similarity to the iconic African American hip hop aesthetic worn by Black Americans for decades. That has resulted in the imprisonment and the death of black men. The trousers have commercial cultural appropriation written all over them, branded with the name of Balenciaga. Balenciaga should hang its head in shame, shouldn't it?
I don't know what an Africana study is, but I can appreciate being triggered by these pants because I'm too triggered by these pants. People who wear their pants halfway down their backside should get a belt, put that in their jeans, pull their trousers up. In fact, get rid of the sweatpants. Unless you're doing exercise, why are you wearing sweatpants? Get a suit on, dress smartly, get a proper job, enter the world respectably.
Or could it be, Calvin, if we take Marquita's approach to life seriously, that if a white kid or a black kid walks around with his trousers properly held up with a belt around his waistline, he's guilty of cultural appropriation against the white race?
Oh yeah, they would say that. They absolutely would say that. And this is another element of this whole battle of critical race theory because they suggest that whiteness and blackness are characteristics and not just skin colors. So it gets to the point where if you are dressing smart, wearing a suit and tie, you are appropriating whiteness. If you're talking properly, using full words and full sentences and not talking in slang, you are appropriating whiteness. And if you succeed in life, you are appropriating whiteness. It comes to the point that what these black professors are doing is actually trying to hold other black people back and say, actually, no, you have to dress scruffily, you have to talk incorrectly, and you can't succeed. That is racism. That's patronizing, and they don't see it.
It's kids that I worry about here. What can we do to protect them from this nonsensical garbage?
I think what we do is what we're doing right now, Kevin. We'd laugh at this rubbish, we ridicule it for the nonsense that it is, and we let young people know that actually don't worry about what your skin color is. Wear what the hell you like, but dress smartly. Don't buy crappy sweatpants that are £860 anyway. You can go to M&S, get yourself a nice little three-piece suit. Talk properly, walk properly, and be a respectful member of the community, and there you'll get by and you'll succeed in life and you'll make something of yourself. And that's what social mobility is all about. That's what life is all about.
Well
and
said.
Don't worry about this silly.
Yeah, I know. We got to try and mock this cancel culture, cultural appropriation, racist obsession. We've got to try and mock it out of existence. It's probably our best approach. We had a good go there, Calvin. Always a pleasure to talk. Thank you so much, mate. Calvin Robinson there, social commentator.